everybody. It is Sunday, February 26th. Setting looks a little different, but I wanted to make sure it's also pretty early in the morning, but I wanted to make sure that I get my update up this week since I did miss last week. So my stats are that I started Weight Watchers on February 11th. I weighed in at 309.4. It is now February 26th, and I weighed in yesterday at 298.2. So I've been a total of 2 weeks in the program. The first week I lost 6.2, I believe. And the second week, this past week, I lost 4.4 pounds for a total of 11.2, if that adds up correctly. It's a total of 11.2 pounds. So I'm very happy, obviously, with that loss. So let's talk about the last 2 weeks. So the first week was kind of an adjustment period, obviously. I was kind of figuring out the program. I was figuring out the points values. I was kind of either going over my points, or I was eating less than what I should per day. So it was kind of a little bit all over the place. I felt hunger. Obviously, I was still kind of adjusting to the program, as I said, so I was still experiencing a lot of cravings. So that was kind of the first week, and that was a big loss. I was very happy with that. I was very active, walking a lot. I was doing roughly about, I'd say, between 12 and 14,000 steps per day, give or take. Obviously, it's not 100% accurate, but between 12 and 14,000, I'd say. That was the first week, and then I weighed in, had a pretty good loss. That was not unusual for me because first week in, I probably had water weight and other things going on, and then obviously my body adjusting to the program. So a big loss is pretty normal for me for the first week. The second week, this past week, was a little bit different. I would say most of the days I was actually under points, especially because middle of the week I had some wisdom teeth pulled, so I was on kind of a soft diet. I was eating applesauce and bananas and oatmeal, and I really wasn't reaching my points target. Maybe that's why the loss was less this week, or maybe it was just because it's the second week. It is still a considerable loss, but I wasn't reaching that point target that I should have. Still as active, walking around, doing roughly between 12 and 14,000 steps. I'm lucky in that my job does involve walking, so I'm able to get those steps in. So that kind of summarizes the weeks. As far as the meetings are concerned, I've been kind of bouncing around from meeting to meeting due to work. First week, I had attended a meeting in New Jersey, and then the second week, I attended a meeting in Midtown West, and then this last time I had attended a meeting in Chelsea. That has been kind of cool to see different leaders and their different styles of conducting a meeting. And I have to say that this past week, I really enjoyed this leader. Really brought up some interesting points. I liked that he was always, like, 'cause we had a subject obviously every week to discuss. This past week, we were talking about the why. Why are we doing this? What do we think that life will look like once we reach goal? And what are some unrealistic versus realistic expectations? And he was kind of tying all that in, and obviously encouraging participation. And I thought overall that he brought up some very interesting points. And for me personally, I went in there thinking, well, I know why. And then I left there thinking, well, maybe I need to think about this a little bit more. Like, why really am I doing this? Why? And it's always and it's important to keep that in mind, during your weight loss journey because, well, that's really what motivates you to keep going when you have those days and those moments where you're feeling, like you're craving something, or you just feel like you just can't really go any further, or you just want to kind of go back to the way things were. Changing your life and changing your habits is difficult, and when you have a reason why you're doing it, I think that really helps a lot. So that's my homework assignment. I'll have that for you next week. I'm still working on it. It's not as simple as I had thought. The first, I should say, the second meeting in Chelsea was a little different format. That topic of discussion was kind of cleaning out your life. Let's say, for example, organizing your pantry, or organizing your bedroom, or organizing your paperwork, or organizing your day, or organizing your tracker, and what the benefits are to that in relation, obviously, to your weight loss, and how that translates then to many different areas of your life. That attention to how organized you are. We didn't really talk about that though much with the leader. She was great though. I liked her a lot. Her format was more of encouraging group discussion. So, the group would be asking certain questions, and then the group would be answering questions. And then, of course, the disadvantage of that is that, you kind of get off topic. But I felt that there were a lot of really important and helpful tips that I got from the group, and some ideas as far as food choices. It was a cool group, different format, as I said, but definitely you get something different from that type of a format. That kind of summarizes the meetings. I was going to say that a couple things. One thing I'm celebrating this week is on Friday night. I was scheduled to obviously weigh in on Saturday, and I was experiencing some pretty severe cravings. I was sitting here watching TV, getting work done, and I just wanted something sweet so bad. So instead of indulging in something which I shouldn't have, I ended up buying a huge container of not strawberries, raspberries, like one of those like double containers of raspberries. I devoured that entire thing. It was so good. I have to say that it really satisfied my craving. Fruit is definitely sweet when you kind of have given your body time to adjust from eating those really artificially sweet foods. So I'm celebrating that this week. And then the other thing I was going to say is that I was talking to a friend this week, and she brought up something really important that I think is worth mentioning here, maybe help someone else. We were discussing weight loss, and she had mentioned that I told her that I had joined Weight Watchers and that I was kind of on a weight loss journey. And she was saying that she also was thinking about, getting this under control. She's been kind of watching what she eats, but she doesn't feel that she's losing anything, and she struggles with portion sizes, and she struggles with hunger, and she struggles with cravings. She struggles with what all of us struggle with. So, but one of the things that she mentioned when I was talking to her about portion sizes and the program, not that I was in any way influencing her to either join the program or look into it or whatever, but just kind of to explain what my experience has been the last 2 weeks, and then also telling her about some of the struggles that I have had as far as um, just feeling like I'm still craving certain foods, and I'm still like just obsessed. I feel that I just get obsessed over satisfying these cravings, and what I know is a long road ahead. One of the things that she said, which I thought was very powerful, it just kind of struck me, is she said, "Well, this is a journey. This is a journey that you're on. It's a great journey to be on. Therefore, you're going to, encounter all sorts of things on your journey. But it's a great journey to be on because it can only get better. Things are only going to get better. You've experienced the worst. It's true. I have experienced the worst, and this can only get better. And these hiccups that I experience or these challenges are all a part of the journey. And I'm embracing that. Maybe that doesn't mean much to you, but to me, it was kind of like I have that conversation in my head I'm uh, when I'm feeling these cravings. Like, this is a part of my journey. This right now is in some way testing me, and that's okay. And I'm gonna get through it. And then, you know what? There'll be another one, and then there'll be another one, and then there'll be another one, and you know what? That's fine. This is all a part of my journey, and I'm looking forward to seeing how I develop and how much I change and how much my body changes, and it's a great journey to be on. All right, so that concludes my update. So I'll see you next week.